I want to do this short video discussing moving averages. Now, what I'm hearing more and more is generally coming from people that don't trade very well, and they say that moving averages lag. They don't want to use them because they lag. Moving averages, that is literally in the name, averages. It is supposed to lag behind the market. It's supposed to filter the market. It cleans up the market movement, and it does present structure. It filters the market noise, and that is what a moving average does. I don't know what these traders that say that moving averages lag expect from their moving averages, but I want to show you what you can expect from the moving averages so that you know how to better use them. Now, I have one moving average on the chart. Let's get rid of this moving average for right now, and we'll take a look at what this chart looks like. This is a 15-minute Euro Australian dollar. There are places in here that start looking kind of noisy. It is difficult to trade for most people when it comes to a naked chart. And having some kind of orientation, some sort of market direction is going to be very helpful. Now, there are several different settings for moving averages, and often I'm going to put at least 2 moving averages on a chart. But when I put the first one, this is called the main moving average. We want to see how the price moves around that moving average. It's really important to see how this moving average is interacting with the price, or more accurately, how the price is interacting with the moving average. So let's put that blue one back on. A good place to start with a setting for this first moving average is 50. I use a 50 EMA. That is going to be my main or my base moving average. And I want to take a look at price and see how it moves around that moving average. Is there something that we can get out of this? The fact that the moving average lags is really a huge help to us. Now, the first thing I'm looking for is how the price moves away from those averages and then comes back into it. We're going to see that with the medium and the short-term moving averages. And this is really the foundation of a working trading system using moving averages. We see that the price dips away and then comes back, moves away and then comes back, moves away and then comes back. And we'll see that to the downside, and we'll see that to the upside. Moves away and comes back, moves away and comes back. And we can start to use that feature of the moving averages to make a profitable trading system around it. And if I zoom out even more, we'll see that this is a general market movement. Price moves away and comes back, moves away and comes back. And this is the core concept of moving averages. Let's take a look at a 1 hour. This is a 15-minute. So let's look at a 1 hour time frame. And we see the exact same thing. The price is above the moving averages and it comes back, moves away and comes back. Price is below the moving averages. It does the same thing. It moves away and it comes back. And this 50 EMA is a very good starting point. We can make adjustments. If the market is extra choppy or the pullbacks are a little bit bigger, we can either slow down this main moving average or speed it up. Let's take this one and we'll turn it to like 100, and we'll see if there's anything a little bit clearer here. When you use a bigger moving average, you're going to find that the market still does the moving away and pulling back, but the pullbacks don't always get to that moving average. So taking a trade based on a pullback to the moving average does become trickier and trickier. It does become a little bit more difficult unless that market is pulling back far enough to get very close to or touch that moving average. Let's take this one up one more and go for a 200. And we can start to see how the gaps between the price and that moving average is starting to get bigger and bigger. Now, this isn't always a bad thing. It does give us a bias. We are looking at a general direction. So if the price is above the 200 in this case, we are looking for long trades, but we're going to use a different set of moving averages in order to get into those trades. So we have a bias to the upside, meaning we're looking to buy. And when the price is underneath, we have a bias to the short side, meaning we're looking to sell, but we're not typically going to be selling off of moves to the moving average. Every once in a while, you do get a nice move to that 200 EMA that does bounce and continues off, but we miss a lot of trades if that's what we're waiting for. Let's go back to that 50 EMA. This one seems like a really nice setting. We go to the 50 EMA, and what we can see is the price moves away, comes back, moves away, comes back. Now, the one thing that we're seeing is that the price does pass that moving average. So when the pullback happens, it often gets to that 50 EMA and then drops below it a little bit if the market is trending up. If the market is trending down, we see that the price pulls up to it and then does get past it a little bit. But this market behavior is the same from today, from tomorrow, from last week. We see this over and over. The price pulls back to the 50 EMA and then gets past it a little bit and then bounces. So we get a predictive behavior from the market by observing how that price is moving around that 50 EMA. All right, what we want to do now is clean this up a little bit more. We're going to keep that 50 EMA, but I want to find a way to use another moving average that will encourage us to continue going short if the price does cross above and then drops back down again. Once the price crosses above, we could see a price drop in and then bounce off of that. So let's add a second EMA. We're going to add two EMAs that give us a visual trend. I've added a 200 EMA. You may not like the 200. The 200 is fairly slow, but it does give us a nice predictable trend. When the 50 is below the 200, we are looking for short trades. We know that there is a trend down. When the 50 is above the 200, we're looking for buy trades. The trend is up. And when we do get those pullbacks that cross that 50 EMA, we can see that the trend is down. So that pullback across that 50 EMA does not give us a signal to buy. That is just telling us that the price has reached that 50 EMA, is doing that crossover, that it does, because we can see historically that it does it over and over and over again. And by adding the 200, we have that extra confirmation that the trend is going in one direction. It does not have to be a 200 EMA. Let's change this to something smaller. We've turned it into a 100 EMA, and it still does the same thing. It is showing us that when the 50 is below the 100, the trend is down, and the pullbacks into those moving averages will generally warrant a continued move down as long as that 50 is below that 100. And the same thing with the market moving upwards. The 50 is above the 100, the price will come back into that 50 and then continue to move up. Now, it doesn't always happen this way, but this is how we trend trade. We are looking for the most probable direction that the market is going to go after a pullback. We're looking for a trend, we're looking for a pullback, we're looking for a validation, which I will talk about in a different video. We're looking for a setup or a signal. We're looking for the entry. We're looking for the stop loss. And then we're looking for a target that is going to be accompanied with trade management. And all of that can come from these moving averages. When you know how to look at moving averages, they become so much more than just an indicator that lags. Only somebody that does not know how to use a moving average would say that. It'd be like driving an automatic vehicle, getting into a standard, not knowing how to drive the standard, and saying that that car doesn't work. That is not the case. You just don't know how to use these moving averages. When we couple up moving averages like this, they do provide a lot of extra information. We know when the market is ready to take off. We know when the market is overextended. We know when the market is ready for reversal. And yeah, we can trade reversals when we do have a couple of moving averages and the trend is up. We can see when there is an overextended market. Now, this typically isn't going to happen with two moving averages that are this closely related, a 50 and a 100. Generally, we want to add a little bit of a smaller moving average. We see how the price moves away from that 50, and a lot of the times it doesn't even get that close to it before it continues to move off. So we can add a third shorter term moving average. What we've done is added a 20 EMA. So we've got a 20, a 50, a 100, and you can see how this process works now. We have that 20 EMA following the price a little bit closer. The price moves away and comes back. It moves away and comes back. And on a 20 EMA, that moving away and coming back happens more often, more regularly, because it is hugging the price a little bit closer. The 50 EMA is a good main indicator, and with that main indicator, we get a shorter term and a longer term indicator off of that. So we can use these three different moving averages to really determine when a market is ready to explode, when the market is ready to take a trade, when it's in its sweet spot, so to speak, when a market is overextended, when a market is ready for reversal. And in a section like this, where all these moving averages are squished together, when the market is really not ready to go anywhere, and we stay out of a market that looks like this. So this is really just the touching point of these moving averages. I can do video after video explaining the intricacies and the benefits of using multiple moving averages and how to read them. Now, with UBFX, I do have a series of 3 different moving averages that are very specific. Now, although these aren't them, the same rules apply. The same sort of process applies. We're looking for the price to move away and then come back, move away and then come back. We're looking for a trend by having these moving averages in order. We're looking for a uptrend where the price moves away from those averages and comes back. And then as this price comes back, we are expecting it to get into this gap between the moving averages. Sometimes that gap is between in this case, the 20 and the 50. Other times that gap is in between the 50 and in this case, the 100. But we're looking for a move into the gap and then a move back out of the gap. We've got 3 different moving averages on this chart, meaning we've got 3 different sets of biases. We've got a short term, a medium term, and a longer term bias. And when all 3 of those biases line up, then we are looking really good for a trade. Now we're looking for the best bias to line up and then take a trade right after the lineup. We don't want to start taking trades when the price moves too far away from these moving averages. We get overextended markets. So at that point, when we have an overextended market, we're looking for the price to pull back into those moving averages, and then we are looking for opportunities to take a trade away from those moving averages. These moving averages lag, they're supposed to lag, and if you know what you're looking at, you can make a very profitable career trading just with moving averages. I hope you found this video helpful in some way. Moving averages really are the cornerstone to my trading. Looking at naked charts is okay, but 90% of traders don't have this skill to look at a naked chart and see what's going on. Using a moving average system like this, and again, it doesn't have to be this one, really does clean up the charts for you. You can see at a glance where there are trades, where there are no trades, when we should be looking at avoiding taking trades, when the moving averages are crushed together and the market is moving sideways. We can see when the market is overextended and is looking for a return to these main moving averages, the slower moving averages. When you can see the moving averages and see how the price moves around these moving averages, you can really do some amazing things.